A very warm welcome to everyone present. I'm extremely pleased in welcoming you all to day 2 of Innovate 21. Day 1 was highly inspirational and brilliant, and day 2 is no way less than day 1. Before we start, I request the audience to kindly mute your mics throughout the event. In case of queries, please use the chat box. We are here to help you out. With no further delay, let's start by welcoming our first speaker, Ms. Mubeen Irshad, the director of Story Carpet. She's a pioneer of storytelling and public speaking. She has also been a part of storytelling sessions in various national televisions and institutions. She has been awarded the Top 100 Women Entrepreneur Award and Women on the Rise Award. She is also conferred as the Global Women Ambassador of CIMSME. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So is that all? Can I start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good evening to all of you. Am I audible and visible to everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. And it's my pleasure, privilege, and honor to be here at this moment to have a conversations with each one of you. And I would like to have a request, if possible, could you all switch on your video and be there, because it's a kind of a powerful connection when the person is on, the video is switched on, the ability of connection between the speaker and the listener is nice, and it's just this nice transmission of information, not whatever it is. So if you can do that, it's great. Thank you so much. And as such, she has introduced me as a storyteller. I strongly believe stories connect us. Stories are something which empower us. Stories are something which gives great memories, beautiful memories. Do you also agree that the stories can make a lot of difference and connect and give a huge transformation in each one of us? So since she has talked about stories and as such she has explained about myself as a storyteller, I would love to start my dialogue or the conversation with a story. I hope you're all interested or ready to listen. Yes, I see few faces, so all that is getting thumbs up. And anything we could go on conversation when you want to share anything to the chat window. I see that I could see some of the chat windows. Anything we can always converse through that. And it's an important journey that you are all in. It's a prestigious college. And I also think through all the nostalgic memories that I had when I was studying in college. So no matter what, I have been visiting so many students, different colleges, different locations, different institutions, different places. This one particular story I would have told n number of times, but I still feel this one story, whenever I tell to any number of audience, any number of times, it keeps inspiring me all the time. So I would like to tell you this particular story. And how many of you like the country Japan and why? You can type it in the chat window also. I can see through it. Do you all love the country Japan? And if you love the country, why do you love? You can just share, like type in one word answer. Why do you love the country Japan if you love? All through, like no more sentences. Yes, all in one word. Okay, human resource development, culture, hard workers. I see that. Okay, many things. Yes, if you still have more, technology, sushi, the kimono, that's nice. That I too love that traditional costume. Innovation. Yes, I see a lot of things that inspires you because, yes, all of this is true. I see a lot of that coming up, innovation, humbleness, everything. So even I too love the country Japan. So this story is from Japan. It was a time around 1930s. Japan was going through a major recession. So you know that it was an economy slowdown and people were suffering. It was a heavy, devastating time. And at that period of time, around 1938, there was a young man named Soichiro was studying in an engineering college, like all of you. So it was his around second year of engineering. He was very curious, inquisitive, and someone who's very interested in research and doesn't sit like the other students. So he was always in his research lab developing something called a piston ring for Toyota. So when he was working day and night, all the other fellow students were just saying, "What are you doing? You could come and just enjoy with this. This is not something good for you. Just don't do that." So they were constantly discouraging him. That's what we do, right? What do we do when someone is a nerd and all that? When something goes on, right? Pulling them off and bringing them to our side. And it was always going on. But Soichiro, the young man who was there developing the piston ring for Toyota, waiting there and putting his effort day and night to create this for Toyota. So after months of hard work, and that time he was married too, and he pawned his wife's jewelry, put all the investment in, the little money he had, put everything in, and he started developing the piston ring. Almost, it was such few long months of hard work he took, and he felt that this is the right time. He did everything, and he took the piston ring and he visited Toyota office. He went there, he sat there in the reception, anxiously waiting and looking forward to what would be the result. So the research analyst took the piston ring, went inside, checked all the requirements inside the lab. And while this time Soichiro was waiting, nervously holding on, waiting for the results. And what do you think the research analyst would have come and explained to him after a few hours of checking inside? What do you think your answer would be? You can put it in the chat box. Did you think that the piston ring was exactly great or it was not right? What do you think he would have told? Any idea? Any answers? Any guesses? You can type in the chat box if you have anything. So it was not nice, might be, maybe, neglected. It was always the first thing, right? So he came back and said, "Soichiro, we're so sorry. It doesn't work. It doesn't fit our requirements. You can take it back." And Soichiro, being there, upset and sad, not knowing what to do, sat there for a while and he left back home. And all through these years of hard work, everything was vanished. Nothing is like going to really create a great impression. And in the college, as usual, other students, what do you think they would say? "I told you long time, don't do all these things. Just come along with us and do whatever we are doing. And you don't need to. So just don't waste the time. Just leave off all that." But Soichiro was not heeding all these and again started working day and night. He put years of hard work together. And almost after 2 years of day and night hard work, he went back once again to the Toyota office to present this piston ring. Almost he developed. He thought that this would be the right fit. He went again, he gave, and he sat in the reception, gave it to the research analyst. He went inside, he checked all the requirements. And now what do you think that he would have come back and told? He was anxiously waiting once again for what would be the result. What is that research analyst going to say? And he was there waiting in the reception. What do you think he would have got an answer? This moment. First time it was not nice, it was neglected. What do you think he would have got an answer this time? I see the previous answers, it was good, but the higher authority would have said some reason and neglected it. That was the first time. And so again neglected. Okay, Farheen is saying again neglected. So this time the research analyst came with a big smile on his face and said that, "Soichiro, your requirements exactly fit ours and you got the project." And what will happen to Soichiro? Felt on top of the world and he said, "Hey, hooray, and I did it." Such an extraordinary moment. Days and nights of hard work paid off. He felt really good and he got the bulk order from Toyota so that he can start working on the piston rings, developing the piston rings in bulk and giving it to Toyota. So when he got the order, what is the first thing you require to develop all the piston rings? Now you got a bulk order. So what does Soichiro require right now to create this, to do all this? What are the first thing? What are the essentials that he requires? Anything if you have, you can suggest, move forward. So there are so many things which you require, right, to develop the piston ring. A factory, obviously, patience, dream, money, all that. So he had a very little money. He used low cost concrete materials, built a very good, nice factory, ready to develop the piston ring. And that was the moment Japan was racing with war with US. And you know that the situation, what would that be at that moment? And when he was almost developed everything, super duper fabulous, fantastic, was ready to do all his dream, was going to come alive, poof, bombed. And all through the time, what we will do is, it was such an impasse. It's just a moment to be stopped. It's a deadlock. It was just a deadlock. And most of us, we won't push forward. We will stop there. But again, he did not stop. He used very little money, whatever he had, once again constructed this factory, almost had a dream to start once again, poof, bombed. Second time, it was a huge impasse. It was a huge threshold. It was a deadlock, completely gone. And almost most of us human beings, we will stop at this moment and say that it's done. It is enough. I don't want to do this anymore. But you know what he did? He used all the gasoline cans, tanks were used by the US Army, and he constructed the factory using the gasoline cans, and he constructed the factory once again, and he almost once again started to develop the piston ring. Almost he was there. There was an earthquake. Gone. Such a devastating point. Almost gone. No money, no energy, no dreams, nothing. It was all gone. Such an impasse. He has to stop. There is nothing we could do, and the country was going through a very rough phase. There was no future. And Soichiro, at that moment of time, he had a small bicycle, very fit the gasoline can, because we need to go buy groceries from a long distance. You know that the time of war, how it would be for a country. So you need to purchase groceries, you need to purchase everything going for after long distance. So he used the cycle, fit the gasoline can tank inside, and he was just going around all the places and getting everything. So neighbors, people who were watching Soichiro, they were just saying, Soichiro, could you also make one for us, please? So when people started asking, he couldn't do anything. But what he was helpless. There was no money. He could not invest anything. So he wrote a letter to 18,000 bicycle owners across the country in Japan. And any rough guess how many people would have responded? Because we're just seeing the mindset of people in 2021 and at that time in 1938, 40s, 42s. How many people would have responded? 18,000 bicycle owners, he sent a letter. How much the helping mentality or the tendency would be there for people? Any idea, any rough sketch of the numbers that you have? 100? Very few? Okay. Almost 5,000 bicycle owners have responded, stating that we will help. And help came all the way. So Soichiro has developed this small bike. I don't know, something he did and named it as Super Cub, but the human being couldn't sit and ride. It was so huge, bulky, and people couldn't ride on that. And there was complaint coming from the people saying that, no, we couldn't ride. Is there something you could do? And that's when he went ahead and also made the model sleek and effective and powerful. And that's what you all are riding through in the road right now, powerfully and strong, and you're very happy riding this bike on the road. And I know that one of you have given the answers even before I started the story itself. What is that bike that I am referring to? That's being used by each and everybody, and it's there on the road, and it's creating a lot of difference for people to transport. What is that bike that I'm talking here? Yes, great. Good round of applause for sharing that it's Honda. Yes, Honda is not a bike which was not developed by a lot of successful attempts, but a lot of failure attempts. There was impasse at different moments in phase, different moments in life, but he was not stopping. He kept moving forward. And are we doing that? in our life. Impasse happens so many times in different phases all through the time of the universe. But are we moving, proceeding ahead? And I would like to also start one conversation from my life. Even then, I would like to say that I was someone who worked in IT in different organizations, reputed companies around till 2011, 2013. And I enhanced myself as a storyteller after that. So when I developed myself as a storyteller, I rented a place. I thought that I could take workshops for students and adults. And this place was so nice. So I just placed myself and started taking workshops regularly. As months were progressing, which I was enjoying also, within soon, the owner of the building started asking, Mubeen, I need this place. Could you please give me? And that was just an impasse. I had to stop. I don't know what to do. And there were people whom I was just giving the knowledge and wisdom, and we were all enjoying, and my transformation was also growing. But just an impasse, what to do after that? And I couldn't do anything but then think through and stop what is the next thing I could do. Thankfully, at that moment, we were constructing a house, and I designed and we changed the architecture of the house to suit a company to be there and a building to be inside so that I could use that office building for myself. So there almost everything set up, and I started creating workshops and storytelling, public speaking, creative writing, and so many things we were taking on. And the journey was nice. It was weeks and months. We were just enjoying and holding on. And another impasse, which happened last March. What was it? It was just a deadlock last March. What was that? We all know it. It was just Corona, right? It stopped everything. It stalled everything, everybody. And I had to close down this physical location. I couldn't do anything. But when I closed down this building, when I closed this physical location where where I'm talking right now, it was just an impasse. I did not know what to do further. So online sessions was not at all kind of a knowledge for me. I was not at all something which is easy for me. I did not know what to do. But that was the moment. It was just, I passed the impasse during that time, and I created this online way of mode of transformation for a lot of students and adults started happening. And over the period of almost 8 to 9 months, we have transformed almost more than 1,000 plus students and around 40 plus adults. And it's such a huge rewarding journey. So always there is an impasse. So otherwise, before few years back, when parents were asking me, when friends were asking me from US and UK, can you conduct online public speaking sessions? I said, no, there is only physical sessions possible. I don't think I could ever do that. So when this impasse comes in, we need to always look at what is the next thing to be done. It's always there. And now almost we are here going on in this journey. And now March comes. March is a period where most of the students go for exams. And there's again an impasse. What are we going to do? Because they won't come for studying and doing the extracurricular activities like creative writing, public speaking, or any of that, what we do. So again, what we decided is we can start taking adult sessions back to back, transformation for adults. So always there is an impasse. It comes there to stop us, to challenge us and see what you cannot do anything beyond this point. But what we need to look at as is opportunity and keep moving on. And as we were proceeding, we were moving on, I would like to also ask you a question. And you are there at this moment of time, you are in college studying and doing everything as much as you can and wanted to come as powerful students outside of the college, right? So after years of work, after years of studying, got good grades, so you all will be entering at the same state, all the students, wherever you got placed, everybody will be in the same state of mind. But after a few years, when you enter in the job, within like 2-3 years, you can see that some of your friends would have leaped forward and some of you would stay in the same state. Why is that? What would be the reason? What is the reason for it and what you need to do at this moment? So it's not just only the academics that you need to focus on. Getting the good grades is very important, but it's not the only thing that you need to focus about. How can you enhance yourself? How can you muscle up yourself? Soichiro did not keep quiet whenever things happened. Imagine, can someone develop something called a powerful product called Honda during the time when Japan was going for war with US? So all through the time when he was studying, he equipped himself. with all that which was required for him even to sustain when he comes out of the college. So I would strongly recommend you to enhance yourself in personality development, public speaking, and so many other kind of skills which requires you to sustain when you come out of the college also. That's something is very important. And for me personally, I would say that public speaking is one big, huge skill where if you can take it up, the confidence and the ability of molding yourself will be huge and abundant. Here, I can see only very few of you switching on the video and watching and listening, right? Not everybody is switching on the video and watching, because some of you is like, why is that? Why? What is the requirement? What is the necessity? Or might not be interested in. But I would say that the way that you look powerful, the way that you interact, the way that you ask questions, the way that you start on time, being committing yourself will always make the difference. So impasse is thing every time it happens in our life. And for me personally, if you ask me, when I started renting the building, when I started doing storytelling workshops, imagine if the owner of the building would not have asked me that building to give it to him, I would be in the same place, transforming those few children who comes around that place, and I would be stalled in that place. I don't think so I would have moved forward. Because he asked, I looked for something else. Because of Corona, I moved to something else. So I would say Corona is giving a lot of opportunities for us to move forward. We can never say that. I don't know how many of you have observed during the times of Corona, many small players have been out of the market. They were out of the business. So those who have enhanced themselves, has developed their muscles with so many aspects, how to sustain during these challenging times, are the only ones who could stay. So are you capable enough of doing that? And if you're not, make sure that you are developing the muscles as much as you can, so that when you come out of the college, you're powerful, you're bold, you're brave, and you can create a difference for yourself. And thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been a pleasure interacting with you, because these are all young minds who'd like to take our country to a faster pedestal. Even though if you're going to do a startup or anything that you want to do after the college, I think all the values, being committed, following the time, and being ability to speak powerful, all these areas will really put you on top. And if someone requests any help or support with regards to public speaking or personality development, we are always there to support you. You can connect with us. We are there in Story Carpet, or you can connect in Mubeen Irshad. Yes, any support or assistance, we can always do that. And wish you all a very good luck. And if you have any questions or anything, you can post right now. Thank you.
The story of Sochiro was really motivating and inspirational. Thank you so much for enlightening us with your thoughts, ma'am. We have a question from one of our audience.
Okay.
In most of our families, there is a predefined definition for success. That is, they may want us to be a doctor. They will put the entire time and effort for the children to become a doctor. But when the children choose some other profession to be their career, why is it that the society are always seeing that to be a failure? What is the change that can be brought in the society to overcome this issue?
I think when we can, it's not about, people will say so many things, what they feel it's right. But if we are that kind of a powerful person to communicate to them, to make them understand what you want to, and also prove to be successful, then people won't point to us, right? The best way to shut up the world is you need to prove results. So it's not only to make them understand, but also when you come out and jump out, it's our responsibility to make yourself that I'm a winner. Just see, when I started my education enterprise called Story Carpet, there was not much of a support from people in my family. They said, you worked in corporate, you have a lot of experience. Why don't you go and work in IT field itself once again? So I said, no, this is what I wanted to create, because storytelling is my passion. Public speaking is what I require. And I also wrote this book. So I said, I want to write a lot. So this is what I wanted to do in my life. And so they were always like giving a lot of excuses, different things to put me down. But when I started doing it again and again, and it's almost like 4 years, when I started developing, this is like an establishment, when they start seeing, creating transformation, the real action outside, people all will keep silent and they won't say anything. So it's our responsibility to make ourselves a winner and keep the world silent. And before that, it's our responsibility to make them also powerfully communicate. For that, we require to be powerful. Bold and powerful is very much required in the personality wise.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This was highly motivating.
Thank you, Danu.
Next on the list, we are highly honored in welcoming Mr. S.R. Jangid IPS, who successfully led an operation to arrest the members of the notorious Bavaria gang. His Operation Bavaria has inspired several youngsters and filmmakers, which resulted in the Tamil movie named Dhiran Adhikaram Ondru. He is a sharpshooter and was responsible for the formation of several shooting ranges in Tamil Nadu. He received various medals for his outstanding services, which included the most prestigious President's Medal for Gallantry for gunning down notorious criminals in encounters. Welcome, sir.
Yeah. Are you able to see me?
Yes, sir.
Am I clear?
Yes,
audio clear? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Shall I start now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And before I start, I want to tell, if anybody has got any queries or any questions, you may please put in your box, chat box, and Compare can ask me later. Last 5 minutes, I will leave it for questions, answers. I am so fond of the TED Talks. Whenever I travel somewhere, I put on my computer and see the TED Talks. I learned a lot from the TED. When I run on the treadmill or on the EFX, I keep my laptop in front of me in a table, and I keep in the TED Talks. I'm so glad that MIT has developed this small club of the TED Talks. It will certainly innovate, and you will learn a lot. The topic this time is quite general, facing the impasse. In everybody's life, we would have faced a lot of impasse in personal life, in professional career, later on also. So many impasse comes. We have our own pragmatic way of handling the impasse. You, the students, you are in the threshold of life, but still you would have seen so many impasse. You would have handled in their own way. We may not have understood the concept like big psychologists like US Professor Butler has written the book, Getting Unstuck, where he tells how to get out of the impasse. He defines 6 stages of handling the impasse. But without that also, a layman, an illiterate person also, he knows there is some difficulty whether to run away or solve it or to face it. We have faced so many things in the life. I too have faced so many such things in the life, personal life, and also in the professional career. Now, since you mentioned about this Bavaria operation, so I will just touch upon that. In that Bavaria operation also, the impasse started right from the beginning itself. When this MLA, then MLA was killed, and midnight, almost early morning, when we visited there, there was no clue at all. Different type of stories were being viewed, and where to start with? Some people say local criminals, some people say they had some motive, and some people said from outside some criminals. And when we started with the team, there was absolutely impasse. There was no way where to go, we don't know. So just started from like a wild goose chase. Took by a team. Some teams went to Bangalore, some people to Maharashtra, some people to Madhya Pradesh. Finally, we landed up at Delhi and so many other North Indian states. And rest was the story, which you would have seen in the movie. So every stage there was impasse. And all these things, in fact, I should say that I am thankful to all those impasse that they gave us a lot of courage and team spirit to how to win over that, how to handle the impasse, and finally how to come out successfully. This all opportunity I got it because I was in the topmost civil service of the country. And here, I think because so much motivational speeches have been given to you, I think I must talk to you something about this civil service, which provides you all the opportunities in the life, handling the impasses, serving the people, living with respect, whatnot. Can I ask how many of you are civil services aspirants? Can you answer on this box whether the answer will come, yes or no? You are basically engineers, but I can tell you in most of the students who get through the civil services, their background is engineering. And I would like to tell you that this is the time you should prepare. First, I will tell you what is the civil services. It's just brief history. Before the independence, there was Indian Civil Service, ICS, Indian Civil Service. In that, the selections used to take place only in London, and most part of the training used to be taking place there. The students will come and practice here then. They will become district collectors, secretary to the government, all. That was the ICS. And in the police side, the topmost service was IP, Indian Police. After 1948, this was abolished. A new service called Indian Administrative Service, IAS examination. In that, IAS and others also were included in there, but examination name was IAS examination. In 1980, following the recommendation of Kothari Commission, the civil services were started in India. So in that, again, the IAS, IFS, Indian Foreign Service, then Indian Police Service, IPS, to which I belong. Then the Indian Revenue Services, income tax and customs and excise, all the things. And then different type of Indian Railway Traffic Services, so many. There are about set of around 30 services, they come into that. I reiterate that civil services are, to my knowledge, are the best in the country. If you want to serve the people with integrity and respect, then it is the best services in the country. I will tell you the example that in our batch, I joined IPS in 1985. In my batch, there were some officers, some boys who joined the service. They left their services, private services, including some of the people who are working abroad, and their salaries were more than 10 times more than our salary what we were getting in that service. They left those services and joined this IPS. So you can understand, it is not the salary, it is not the money that matter. It is the respect, it is the satisfaction, self-satisfaction. You are a doctor or you are an engineer. You have so many engineering colleges and universities in the state. But imagine, finally, all these people, the policy is made by the one secretary is an IS officer, higher education secretary. He calls the meeting of the vice chancellors. Maybe I'm not telling that in protocol. Yes, protocol vice chancellor may be very bigger. But then ultimately, civil services also matter a lot. I will urge that those students who are listening to me now, who have not yet planned to be joining the civil services, still you have a lot of time. You can prepare for the civil services. And any service of your choice you can choose. You may choose IS, you may choose IFS, you may choose IPS, any service of your choice. And sky is the limit for your personal satisfaction. If you are still interested, then I will say how to prepare for the civil services and when to prepare for civil services. Just a few minutes I will take. And if you are interested, then later on, after the COVID is over, I may come and talk to you in person there, where you can ask me any type of questions, I will answer you, which is not possible in this internet. So the first thing, what was the right time to prepare for the civil services? The answer is that the right time to prepare for the civil services was at when you came to join the school at LKG. That was the right time. So you are already late if you have not started preparing. But never too late. You can make yourself, because you have studied whatever you have studied, whatever background you are having. With that, you can start preparing systematically for the civil services. I want to tell you that civil services is the toughest examination in the world. In the world, I am using the word in the world. In the world, they say that the civil services examination conducted by the UPSC of India is the toughest in the world. So now you can see this example that there are around 1,000 vacancies every year. All services joined together, around 1,000 vacancies, for which around 10 lakhs students who have prepared themselves, they have decided to write the examination because chances are limited there. So they don't want to lose the chances. They don't want to miss the chances. Within that chances, they feel they are ready now. They write 10 lakhs students appear. Of the 10 lakhs, finally only 10,000 students get selected in the main examination. From the main, only 2,000 students, 1:2 ratio students are taken. Of the 1,000 vacancies, there are 2,000 candidates are selected, 2,000 will be interviewed, and then combined seniority will be prepared and services will be decided. So you can understand how difficult is this examination. And in the point, there are there are so many question papers, around 1,600 marks, in which 0.01 mark also seniority it's get revised. So it is a very tough examination, and you all have to prepare hard if you decide to make it. Why to decide, I already told you. And if you really today you decide that I have to become civil servant, then you can right now you can decide and you can become. Your logo should be hard work in right direction. 2 words, the hard work in right direction. If you are working very hard and if you are working in the right direction, no one can prevent you from becoming civil servant. For this, you need guidance. There are so many guide institutes are there, they will teach you. There are so many selected candidates, they will guide you. But ultimately, your own hard work will matter. I will tell you that what are the things you have to now keep it in mind. Just 3 points I will tell you. How to prepare for civil services. If you today decide that you have to become civil servant, you download the UPSC syllabus for civil services, for preliminary and main. Both the exams, you download the syllabus. In that, you see what are the topics are covered in that. All those topics, you can arrange it. In that topic, what are the reference books, that books alone you should read. If you are taking any topic, say suppose physics, you have the mechanical engineering, I don't know because I'm not an engineer, so I don't know what are the topics you have. You take one topic, in that which is the reference book, read that book and understand that thoroughly. Not only reading the material, but understand it thoroughly. That is why what material you take, that should be the basic and the reference material. And your understanding should be, the idea is that when you complete reading of the topic, your idea should be very clear about that. You understood the whole topic, and that topic, from any type of question they can ask, you should be able to answer it. That can come only if your understanding is very clear. So now you see, now you are in the, maybe in the UG or PG, I don't know. Some of you are in UG, some of you are in PG. No problem. Right now your emphasis should be that you have to pay attention to your optional subjects. What are your subjects? Try to score very high. Try to understand from the examination point of view, not for just scoring the marks. Of course, if you understand the topic, you can definitely score the marks also. Understanding the topic, in-depth understanding of the topic. Read all the reference material, discuss that with your students. There should not be any doubt in understanding of the topic. Anyway, they can ask the questions from any point of view, you should be able to answer. So this is the in-depth study of your subject. You should be thorough. In civil services, there is one optional subject, only one optional subject. If you are taking your engineering optional, then right now, if you are thoroughly studying, then later on you will not have to spend more time on this your own subject. You will be clear in this your subject, and you can prepare the other topics. And right now, if you are not prepared well, then you'll be struggling in preparing your own subject, and also you'll be struggling with so many other subjects, and the vast syllabus which you will not be able to cover. So better right now you can prepare your optional subject by studying in the college. Next is that what are other things you should start. You may not be able to prepare for this like history or political system of India. All the things you may not have time to read now. But side by side you should starting immediately reading. Take one newspaper. All the current affairs. What is happening in the world, in the country around us, everything should be so known to you. And the background of every news which is coming today. Say, for example, I prefer the Hindu newspaper. In that, particularly that central pages, that is editorials, left side and right side, the editorial pages, that has to be gone through in detail. We don't suggest the student that you read the paper. We suggest that you should study the newspaper. We use the word study the newspaper. You know the difference between reading and studying. Why study the Hindu newspaper? Because you take one paragraph, a small paragraph of left side editorial. In that, you read the whole thing, underline. Some words will be difficult. You can take the dictionary there, you can try to know the meaning of those words. Then you understand the whole concept, you understand the language, and you understand the concept. And also keep your computer on there. What is the background of each thing? You can put in the Google and you can see the background. So you understand the whole topic when you are reading them on a small editorial. And after reading that, you should write the précis, the 1/3 précis in your own words, whether you are able to write in a very brief, the same thing. Try to improve every day upon writing the précis. Because in civil services, there is a restriction of the length of the answer you write. Certain answers you have to write only in 100 marks, 100 words, then 200 words, then 1000 words only, like that. And if you exceed it too much, there will be negative marking. And in such a small, you will think how to make it brief, because it's a very long answer. How can you write such a brief in just 200 words or 500 words? That is what the art of what Shakespeare has written, that brevity is the soul of wit. That is, if you are very intelligent, then you should know how to write in brief. That is the wisdom. So this you will learn from the writing the précis. While writing the précis, not only writing brief, but you will also learn the backgrounds of everything is happening today. What are all the previous history? What are the future projections of that? All the things will be able to learn from that. So, and you from the first page to last page also you should read, which will include even some political, some of the local news which have no much relevance. Just read the article, you can title and leave it. Don't spend time on that, waste time on that. And you can keep covering the subjects which you feel that it's very important from the examination point of view. And what is important from the examination point of view, that you will come to know by seeing the syllabus of the UPSC and also the previous question papers also. See the previous question papers and don't go for then what are the materials to be read? What are the materials you should read? I especially want to tell, please don't read any guides. In the market, there are so many guidebooks are there. The IS guide or IS history guide, IS geography guide, people start reading those guides. Please don't go through these guides. You'll be wasting your time and you'll get confused. Nothing is clear in that. Instead of that, you should read the reference books. For example, say you want to read ancient India. Don't read the guides written for IS examination for the history subject. You should read the basic books. That is, you read the books written by the NCERT. And there are so many basic authors are there. The original books which have been written, the idea, if you have time, you can read more in detail. Otherwise, at least basic books. In civil services, it is not that you have to be a jack of all. You have to be, you need not be master of all. You have to be jack of all. You may not be, if you are working hard only in the engineering subject, maybe you may be able to score from 50 to 1% more, 51 marks. But there are 100 more topics like this. There you will be lagging behind and you will lose miserably. 10%, 20% you will lose there. You can never make it. So you have to keep a balance. All the topics you have to cover by maintaining a good balance. So I don't want to take more time because my time is already over. I just wish you all the best. If any one of his willing or the aspirant to join the civil services, please start working right now. And as I told you about the hard work, see, even the toppers, the civil services topper or the engineering topper, any topper, and the last person, last student, the common thing is that both have got same 24 hours in the day. How one person is able to top and another person is just failing? The reason is that he makes the best use of the time. So how you make the best use of the time, that only will decide your success. So you save as much as time possible. Don't waste your time. And best thing is that keep at least 2 days you try 24 hours. Morning, suppose you get up at 7 o'clock, 7 to next day 7, you start using your timepiece. Just see the stopwatch. How many hours you have how many minutes you have studied. When you start studying, switch it on. When you stop and you are even going to talk to some friends or taking breakfast or lunch, even that time you switch it off. So total minutes, how many minutes are there in 24 hours you have prepared? If you are studying for more than 15 hours a day, then you are likely to be get selected for civil services. Net study should be more than 15 hours. I am talking about net study. It's not how many hours you are just reading and talking and all things combined together. That is not the study. Net study, if it is a 15 hours or more, then yes, I can say from time point of view, you are spending sufficient time for study for the civil services. So select the right material, repeating the hard work in the right direction. That will make you civil servants, and that is the ultimate service in this country. I, having worked in the civil services for 35 years, I feel that God has been kind to me, that I got this opportunity to work in Indian Police Service. And I wish you all the best, and I thank the club, this TED club, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much. Any questions you can ask me now. Anything? Able to hear me? Audio is not clear?
Yes, sir. It's clear, sir.
Okay.
So some of us actually start up with a very good interest and focus, and as the time passes by, we lose focus in studying, sir. So how could we actually cope up with this?
No, in that case, your vision and your goal is not correct. If your goal is correct, you will always focus on that. If your goal is not correct, you are studying, you don't know why you are studying, then you will keep wavering between one target to another target, and that is where you get defocused. So please have your focus. First, you fix up a goal. If your goal is civil service, you fix on that. Your goal is Indian engineering services, then you fix on that. You will never waver. You will never get defocused. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir?
Yes.
So from being an economics student, that is a professor in economics, what was the change that happened which made you choose IPS as your career, sir?
See, I was assistant professor in economics, University of Rajasthan, and from there, see, I wanted to join some administrative services. Though I like to teach, but still I feel administrative services are better. So it gives a lot of opportunity, a lot of challenges in the life. So I wrote the examination. I wrote in the Rajasthan group of services, and same time I wrote the civil services. I got selected in both. First result came for the Rajasthan group on services. I joined it. When I was there, I got the interview call for the civil services. I appeared for the interview. I got selected. So I left Rajasthan Group 1 services and I joined this Indian Police Service. And there, after joining, I got Tamil Nadu cadre. So I came here. I spent all 35 years in Tamil Nadu. So I feel that as compared to other services, I feel that civil services are the best. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for explaining and clearing our doubts regarding the UPSC exam, sir. This was highly useful.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Can I quit?
Yes, sir. The third speaker for the day is none other than Neelam Jain, the founder of Periphery, a Bangalore-based organization that helps LGBTQIA plus community members find jobs and earn a livelihood. A core focus is creating equal opportunities for transgenders in India. Welcome, ma'am.
Hi everyone. Hi Danu.
Hello, ma'am.
I'm visible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So I will start off. I'm just quickly setting up my presentation as well. Okay, great. So firstly, thank you so much for the opportunity of having me here today. It's always a pleasure talking to students and sharing my experience. I don't feel too far away from being a student. I'm just about 26 years of age. So I feel like it was just a couple of years ago when I was in college dreaming of a few things, and now it's come to reality as well. So it's been a great journey. Before I start today's talk, and I'm just going to take about 10 to 15 minutes for that, I want to do this really short and a very quick experiment with all of you. So I know you've all been listening to people talk, constantly. So we'll do a very short sort of an experiment, after which we will just deep dive into the conversation today. So for this experiment, what I would like for all of you to do is close your eyes and purely just listen to what I have to say. Okay? So I request everyone, whoever wants to, please come on video, close your eyes, and we will try this very simple thing out. Get into a very comfortable position, relax your body, take a deep breath, breathe in and out. Just relax your muscles. Don't be stressed about the computer or who's looking at you. It's fine. We're all closing our eyes. So I want you all to imagine a very different world than where you are today. So for that, you'll have to stretch your imagination a bit. And at any point, if you feel distracted, just remember that and come back. So imagine a Monday morning. You wake up, you get ready, you're all excited or probably anxious because it's Monday, and you're starting off your day. So this Monday morning, you're ready and you're probably ready to go to college or work, etc. As you go out of your house, you don't take your car or your bike today, you just walk out of the house. As you walk, you go to the closest signal next to your house. On the way to the signal, you see that people are looking at you in a very disgusted manner. They're giving you really bad looks. You just ignore them and you keep walking. You reach the closest signal next to your house and you stand there for a few hours and you start asking for money. People come, give you 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 50 rupees, etc. As the day goes by, it becomes really hot. You're standing there from 9 in the morning. It's about 1 p.m. now. It's scorching hot, especially in Chennai. And you're just going by the day because you need to collect the money. You also get into fights with people who tell you, why are you begging? Why aren't you going for work? You just ignore them and you keep asking for money because that is all that you can do. By the end of the day, you made a few hundred rupees and you walk back home. As you're walking back home, you notice that the same people are again looking at you in the same disgusted manner. You ignore them one more time and you go back home. You go back home that night and you think, I hope my life gets better. You give that money to the eldest person in your house and you go to sleep. You can open your eyes now. So I'm just opening my presentation. So what a lot of you experience right now is probably what about 10 lakh transgender people go through every single day in their life. We're talking about 1 million transgender people in India living their life of begging or sex work every single day, rejected by people around them, by their friends, by their family, by society, anybody and everybody around them. There are different names by which we know them: Hijra, Arvani, Tirunangai, Koti, Tirunambigal, etc. But there's just purely two occupations for them. So, what I really want to do today is talk to all of you about where and how the transgender community has really evolved. What has been my journey as someone who has been an ally, as a supporter of the community, and what is my startup periphery actually doing as well. So what I'm going to start off by is spend the next 2 minutes talking to you about Senthil. So the person you see over here is Senthil Kumar, and when Senthil was about 8 years of age, he realized that he was very different from most other boys. In the sense, he did not like hanging out with other boys. He felt more comfortable with women. He liked his mother's makeup. He in fact loved the way his mother carried herself, and he wished that he could be like his mother. When the child is about 8, 10 years of age, it's fine when we see the boys dress up like girls. But as Senthil started growing up, he started showing a lot more feminine traits, and everybody started teasing him. Everybody around him started teasing him, especially his friends, families, and relative members. As Senthil grew up, he realized that actually I am a transgender woman. I don't identify as a man. I'm someone who's actually trapped in the wrong body. So this came with a lot of unlearning and learning about himself. And Senthil started looking out for people with whom he can sort of feel comfortable. So Senthil used to visit the beach, the train, a lot of different places like the signal, so he can find more and more trans people, so he can go and talk to them and actually feel like, okay, I have someone and I'm not alone. Soon enough, Senthil's identity was identified by his parents. His parents actually found out that their child is a transgender because one of the times when Senthil was trying out wearing a sari at home, he got caught and his parents forced him to get married. Senthil said that as a heterosexual transgender, I will not force myself into getting married to a woman. And so Senthil ran away, which is what 99% of transgender kids in our country do. They either run away or they themselves become a part of this ancient hierarchical system of the trans community known as the Guru and the Chela system. So when a young transgender is not accepted by their own family, they become a part of this foster system, which is managed completely by the transgender community. So Senthil, like you can imagine, became one of the Chelas and he had a guru. So what the guru would offer Senthil is protection, is a safe space where Senthil can actually fully proclaim his identity of being a trans woman, wear saris, go through a sex reassignment surgery, etc. Everything that Senthil dreamt of being from the age of 7, the guru promises to do. And in return, what Senthil has to do every day is to go for begging, is to go for sex work, and to be a part of a system that is not as great. Senthil was constantly abused, not just by the larger society, but also within the community. There was a constant pressure to ensure that a minimum amount of money is earned every single day and is paid to the guru. Senthil was exposed to being HIV positive because most of the clientele in the sex work do not encourage condoms or anything that is related to safe sex. Senthil was also constantly raped by other people, but a trans woman's rape is now not even considered as normal in our society. And not just this, Senthil faced discrimination in every aspect of his life, whether it was housing, law, employment, etc. So why is it that despite going through so many things, Senthil still wanted to be a part of that system, was still okay to be ridiculed by the society and also to go through abuse? Only and only so that Senthil can actually become Rohita. So the person that you saw some time back is Rohita. Rohita went through a sex change operation. Rohita was supported by her guru to do that. And Rohita could, for the first time in her life, actually feel like a woman and actually be a woman in true sense. So this sort of an identity that she sought, her family would understand they never did, and which is why Rohita actually ran away. Rohita was one of the first people that I happened to interact when I started Periphery. And when she reached out to us, she told us that she has spent almost a decade of her life going for begging and sex work, and she does not want to do that anymore. So we connected with one of the leading textile companies in India, in Tamil Nadu, and we found her a job of a data entry specialist over there. Rohita has been working there for almost 2 years now, and although her salary is merely about 14,000 per month, in comparison to what she earned in begging, etc., which gave her a lot more, she's a lot more happier, she's fulfilled, and she feels respected today. So that's how the idea of Periphery actually came about. So I'm going to take a few moments now and share my journey of really starting Periphery and how this came about. Rewind to 2015, I used to work with this investment banking firm named Goldman Sachs. So I come from a background where finance or being in family business was considered the norm. However, I always knew that I wanted to be in the social and the development sector. When I was working with Goldman, they had a very active network for the LGBTQ community. The company stood for the rights of LGBTQ people, and during one of those events that we had in support of the community, I was introduced to trans people. I saw transgender people in the company on the stage talking and not just interacting with everybody else like normal people. And that's when I realized that, they're so highly misunderstood and they're just as human as anybody else, but they're not treated as an equal in our society. So what I did was propose a project to the company saying, why don't we recruit transgender people? Why don't we provide them skilling opportunities, training opportunities, and find them employment so they can become financially independent? So while the idea was loved in the organization, for various reasons, it didn't go through. So I took the step that I really wanted to pursue this, and I quit my job and came back to my hometown, Chennai. And that's where I started off Periphery. So Periphery has started in 2017 with the vision of creating equal opportunities for the transgender community. Till date, our organization has created jobs for over 170 transgender people and has sensitized over 22,000 corporate India employees. We're in a very niche space where we're actually in between two extremes of our society, which one is the corporate India and the other is the transgender community, which is probably one of the most marginalized. What has been one of my greatest learning in this entire phase is that we often think that the community is oppressed because of things that happen with their family, with their friends, etc. But it's quite often our own actions as well. Take, for example, if our friend or somebody we knew in our own college comes out to us saying that, hey, I'm actually a transgender person. Will all of us actually accept that friend of ours? Will we continue to behave normally with them? And if there's one thing that I would like for all of you to take away is to actually understand that transgender people exist around us, are with us as normal as anybody else. So during this phase of running Periphery, we've created jobs for a lot of people. And some of these stories I want to share here and also their backgrounds to help you understand how diverse and dynamic the community really is and how they've really passed the impasse. Take, for example, Bara over here. Bara is a BE graduate and also a gold medalist. However, when Bara came out to her parents at the age of about 19, when she told them that she is a trans woman and she can't fake the life of a man, she was shunned away. So Bara said that she will make something out of her life and actually show it to her parents as well. Bara reached out to us and very soon she was placed in SPI Cinemas. Now she has actually transitioned into a much better role in another organization. However, she worked with SPI for about 2 years as the experienced team project manager. Another person that I'd like to talk about is Rose. Rose is someone, again, who's been ostracized by her own family members. She came from a background of not having any education at all. She merely passed about 8th standard, and she spent most of her life working with NGOs, supporting her own community members. But one thing that Rose was really good at was communication. When we met Rose for the first time, we realized that although her spoken English was not as great, she was a great communicator. So we helped train her in those areas. And soon enough, we placed her in Nestaway, one of the startups in Bangalore, as a HR executive. Rose's life literally transformed from being a sex worker and constantly going through abuse to being a senior HR executive in Nestaway. Now she's living her life independently, and not just that, she's also supporting her own family members. The same parents who did not accept her while she was growing up, she's taking care of them at this point. Another person is Adhyasa, who's working in Koski as a content marketer. These are all people, some of them who've had family support, some of them who've had education, some of them who probably had none. And what I'm also trying to establish over here is that the transgender community is not what we see only on the streets. They're probably a small part of a very dynamic and a very large community. Take, for example, Ramesh over here, who is a trans man. So we know a lot about trans women, but we rarely know anything about being a trans man. So basically, someone who is assigned female at birth, however, identifies as a man. So Ramesh is now working as a hairstylist in Naturals. And again, trans men themselves find it very difficult to survive because they're often forced into marriages, and rape and threat becomes a normal part of their life. Take, for example, Sumangli, who is working as a front office executive in Bohemian House. Anusha is working as a wealth operations analyst in ANZ, a very young child who reached out to us at the age of about, as soon as she graduated, saying that, she wants to prove something to her parents. She wants to prove something to the world that trans people can be as equal and as capable as anybody else if they're given the opportunity. I'm going to play this quick video, and at any cost, if you're not able to hear, please.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt. The video is not audible.
Okay, okay, no problem. Then I think we'll just skip this and I will share the link.
Ma'am, you could have increased the volume of the YouTube video, ma'am. And that, I mean, the volume there was less. If you would make it full, it'd be a bit.
Can you hear now?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Great. So what I was really sharing was, I'm not sure if everybody got the audio, but this was an event where we did with about 40 trans people, and where they managed and they sort of ran the entire event at TEDx Chennai 2018, and this was in partnership with SPI Cinemas again. So again, at the end of it, what we're really trying to promote is transgender people are as equal as anybody else, deserve opportunities just like anybody else, and all we really need to do is create an environment where they can be acknowledged. Even within our own schools, even within our own colleges, even within our companies, we need to create an environment. We need to create a safe space where people can bring their 100%. We often tell people that, are you comfortable? Are you able to be yourself? This may be a casual question for a lot of us, but for the transgender community, it means a lot. For any transgender person, it means a lot. If they can express themselves, there is nothing greater than that. So, in my journey of about 4 years of running Periphery, I think we have really learned a lot more, and we have gained a lot more from the community probably than we have given back. It may look like we're doing something great by creating opportunities for them. While it is a job that we're doing, I feel like when you're inclusive, when you create opportunities for someone, the biggest benefit anybody gets out of it is the person who's creating those opportunities. Because I get to be the beneficiary of so much goodness. I get to be the beneficiary of people living an independent life, people living financially independent, people not having to be a part of a structure, of a system where they're constantly abused and discriminated. So this is it from me, and I would like any questions that people have about startups, about social entrepreneurship, about volunteering or working with trans community. Please feel free to shoot any questions that you guys may have. Thank you.
Ma'am, we have a question up in the chat box. What was the ideology behind the name of your startup, Periphery? What does the name Periphery signify?
Okay, that's a good question. I'm just going to put the correct spelling over here. So periphery comes from the word periphery, which means the edge. So as a society, we've pushed a few people to the edge of the society, right? Especially if you take the transgender community. So what we're trying to say is we act as a ferry, like a boat, and we take those people from the fringe, from the edges of the society to where they want to go. You know, really make that journey with them and help them reach their highest potential. So it's a very long philosophical thing behind it, but this is what periphery means.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was indeed an eye-opener. Thank you for enlightening us with your thoughts, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Hope you guys got a sense of Miss Neelam Jain's performance and about transgender community and our startup Periphery. Now I welcome our college quiz cap to perform some activities before us and entertain us. Let's get started.
Hello.
Hi guys.
Hello Kevin.
Hi guys.
Hello everyone.
Can you guys see the presentation?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, it's just a fun quiz, nothing serious. You can just answer it, whatever comes on to your mind. Don't read between the lines. Not so complex and all. So there are basically 3 rules. Buzzer system. So you have to put the answer in the chat box. Please respect the decorum of the event and avoid unparliamentary words. And our decision is final.
The thing is, just put your answer in the chat box. You don't have to unmute yourself. Okay.
So this is the first question. There is a well-known myth about the word X that says in 1791 a Dublin theatre owner. So it's very long. I'll just say the gist of it. So X is a word. It meant nothing initially. and a person took Richard Daly took it as a challenge and made it a common currency. So identify the word X. Dhananjay, can you check the chat box because I can't switch tabs?
Yeah, I'm just checking it.
It's very simple, guys. The answer is literally on the screen.
Yep. It is a word which was not actually a word itself. Someone made a bet with someone and decided to make it popular overnight. Dublin. Dublin is not the answer. Dublin is actually a place. Sorry, Kaushik.
Okay, I think you don't
Theater.
have much
Theater
time.
is wrong too.
You don't have much time. So the answer is quiz. The word quiz was coined like that. So you can
Quiz
see
actually meant nothing.
you can see the word quiz here on the screen. So, next question. X is an American media organization that posts talks online for free distribution under the slogan "Ideas Worth Spreading." It was conceived by Richard Salverman, who co-founded it with Harry Marks, and it has been held since 1990. It has featured many celebrities like Stephen Hawking, Elon Musk, Rashid Tharoor, Bill Clinton, etc. IDX.
Yeah, we have the answers here already.
Yeah.
Okay. Many of you have got it right.
TED.
It is TED.
What is so special about this best-selling book, which has got stunning ratings as 5 on 5, 4.2 on 5, 3.8 on 5? Everything men know about women. What's so special about this book?
We have the cover of the book given. The title is okay. We've got right answers already. The answer is
It's totally
the whole
100
book is
pages of
empty.
blank.
Congratulations, Venkatakrishnan. And for the previous question,
Basically, men
Salam.
know nothing about women. That's what the author is trying to say. Yeah. So identify the poet of this original poetry. If you ask me how I'm doing, I'll always let you know. If you need to know the weather, I'll always tell you there's snow. I have jokes at my disposal if you are feeling ever low, but please don't bring me in the boat because I don't know how to row.
Very famous poet.
Yeah.
Rudyard Kipling is wrong. They're actually getting older.
Actually, think logically.
Not
It's
German.
not a real person.
Okay.
Think
No,
logically.
the poet is not actually a real person.
If you read every odd line, you might get to know the answer. So I guess we can move to the answer. There's no one trying.
Just a minute. Is anyone trying? Nope.
So the answer is Google Assistant. When asked to rap,
Nirupama has got it right, but we moved to the answer. Okay.
yeah, the words W and X go still further. Long before the European colonization of India, and WX was used in a trading medium derived from the word Karsapana. A less common word is Iranium, Swarnam, or Y. The word Y arises from a coin that was used to be issued a few centuries ago by the Dutch East India Company. It was also called as Duit, from which it became Y in recent times. Z is the modern English word for all the WXY. Identify WXY and Z. It's something related to trade, buying something.
Yeah, we have Kartikeyan has got it right. It is Kasu Panam Tuttu Mani.
Kasu Panam Tuddu money. Yeah. So this question has three parts.
Okay.
X is the
go on.
X is the first name given to an identified male in foreign countries, especially US, UK, etc. And Y is the term used to refer British officials during pre-independence in southern parts of India. And Z is the first name of the Indian character in an award-winning American sitcom known for his selective mutism. for a large part of the show. X, Y, and Z put together is the name of the protagonist in a very recent hit Hollywood movie. Identify X, Y, and Z.
The protagonist of the Hollywood movie's name is XYZ.
Yeah, if you put
We
X, Y,
have
and
the
Z
right
together.
answer already. It's John Dureraj.
Yeah,
Good
John
guess, Abdul.
given to John Doe, and Durai used to refer British officials, and Z is Raj Kutrapalli from The Big Bang Theory. And put together, it's John Durai Raj, the character of Vijay from Master.
Okay, on your screen you see certain clues. Okay, it's Rajesh Kutrapalli actually. You're right. On your screen you can see certain clues, certain numbers. Find the connection between them. It's R165, G42, B42, and
A52, A2A is a different notation of the same RGB values. So if any first years are here, it is connected to you guys. A class of 2024.
Yep.
This is in direct relation with you guys. Anyone trying? Is anyone trying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. We've got right answers. Karthikeyan, Jay, Surya, Kaushik. It's brown.
It's the RGB and hex values of the color brown. The tag of your ear.
Okay, what phrase would you have Googled if you get this result in Google Calculator? The result is 1.166 blah blah 10 to the power minus 8 hertz. What phrase would you have Googled if you got this as the result?
It's like a metaphor.
An idiom, more like it.
So is anyone trying?
I guess no.
So it's once in a blue moon.
Yes, the answer is once in a blue moon.
The value of once in a blue moon is that. Yeah.
Okay. According to food historian K.T. Acharya, the earliest exact mention of eggs in literature can be dated to 17th century. Legend states that eggs was first made accidentally by the Maratha ruler Sambhaji when he tried to make dal curry in absence of his chef. He added tamarind to the dal, resulting in the dish that later came to be known as eggs. Identify eggs. Eggs is a dish which all of us have tasted.
Yeah.
Okay. We have the answer already. The answer is sambar, named after Sambhaji. Okay. Put Funda, Airtel, BSNL, Jio, and Vodafone Idea. What are these?
If you do these things in that respective networks, something will happen.
What happens?
Common. What happens?
Unsubscribe is wrong.
It's a part of the answer, but it's not the full answer.
Why is it relevant now?
Yeah, I think with respect to day to day. Yeah. The answer is
Corona message unsubscribe.
Corona caller tune.
Yep, we've got a few correct answers. Okay, K was honored by a foreign country by releasing a stamp 21 years after his death. K was also the 1930 Time magazine Man of the Year. K was nominated for the Nobel Prize in 37, 38, 39, 47 and 48, but never won the Nobel Peace Prize. Who is K? There is a movie by the name K. Okay, we have the answer already. The answer is Gandhi. Okay. King Richard II of England, who ruled England from 1377 to 1399, is widely believed to have invented eggs, the first recorded use of eggs. Some historians date X's origin to be in the BC era. No, T is wrong. In China. Marie Antoinette persuaded Louis XVI of France to pass a law that eggs had to be square in shape. What is X? Cakes are not
Chess is
square.
also, chess is
Chess
also
is
wrong.
wrong. Bread is wrong.
Wrong.
Okay, good guess. Nope, not bread. One or two more guesses. That's it.
Any takers, guys? Anyone's trying?
Okay. I'm sure almost half of you will have it right now with you. Handkerchief is right.
Yeah,
I'm
that
not
is
sure
the
if you found it yourself or Google helped you. The next question. Okay, what is this?
ID this object. It's
Rubik's Cube. Nope.
it's
No. It's not Sudoku. It's not Rubik's Cube. But it's
Sudoku cube.
Cube. Both the answers mixed together is the right answer.
Yeah, the last time this happened in a cricket match was in 1907 when Bert Walger did it. This feat was achieved most recently last week.
What was it?
What was that feat which was achieved? Very, very recently.
Cricket fans out there?
Any cricket fans out here? It was like a high point in otherwise a low
Dull.
morale match.
Least score in test match. Nope. Oh, it was done by one player. It was done by Bert Waller in 07, and it was done
by another player
in
last
the last match. Shall we move on to the answer?
Yeah, I think an off spinner taking the wicket in the first ball of the innings. Ashwin took the wicket of Rory Burns. Since 1907, this is the first time it has been done. So the last word will be cut abruptly. You have to identify the word.
How do I know you're not going to drive away without?
Can you guys hear?
Yeah.
Handy. Guess I'm not the only one to watch 70s television crime dramas.
Look, you can trust us. We're respected scientists.
Well, he is. I'm a wedding planner who can't find love himself. It's ironic, but the point is, we can't trust you. You're a sketchy character in a parking garage. Yeah, well, from my perspective, that's how you two appear to me. I never thought of it like that. Boy, frame of reference will just sneak up on you, won't it?
My friend does make a decent point about the money. I don't feel comfortable just handing it over up front.
No money, no helium. Seems we're at a stalemate. Not technically. In chess, a stalemate refers to a situation in which there are no remaining moves. You have plenty of moves available. You could beat us up and steal the money. You could kill us. Really, you're only limited by your imagination. All these years I've been using stalemate when I really mean...
So what was the word which he said? Next. This answer is also related to the present moment.
You've been hearing it a few times actually. Any idea?
In the last hour, you would have heard the word at least twice or thrice.
Fun is wrong. It's a significant word for all attendees of
Yeah,
this.
that's the answer. Impasse.
It is impasse. Alchemy of Music has got it right.
How do I know you're not going to drive away with...
Yeah. So hope you guys have a fun time. If you want more quizzes and interesting facts, follow Quiz Club at QCM18 Instagram. Thank you.
Thanks for participating. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, thanks, Kavin and team. Hope you guys enjoyed our club activity. Now, moving to the next speaker, let's welcome Miss Srilakshmi Bansidhar, who is a Veena artist and lawyer by profession, to speak before us. Ma'am, are you on? Yeah.
Hi everyone. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. You are clear.
Yeah. I was just enjoying a quiz session too.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Very lively. And first of all, I thank the TED Club for giving me an opportunity to see the students of MIT. Thank you so much. And to start with, it's just a 1 minute in Veena. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, it's music and music for me. This is what I did and I'm still doing to get past the impasse anytime and any part of my life. So I personally follow this and I personally suggest you guys also to have a parallel field along with your profession and your passion, where there is a lot of happening, where you can always be a student, where you can always be a beginner, such that you get rejuvenated and take a sabbatical off for a period when you see an impasse before you, such that you don't move forward or backward as soon as some impasse standing before you. Just push the pause button. Stay there, take a sabbatical of yourself, get rejuvenated, and come out with a pace faster than before. Crack the impasse before you and move forward. That's what I did, and I'm still doing it every day. Okay, so to go into the topic, I want to share my experiences in all stages of my life, where I faced a lot of different types of impasse in my life. Born and brought up in a very, very conservative Saurashtrian Hindu family in Temple City, a joint family. Always there were 20 members in the family. I am the eldest granddaughter of the family. Whatever I do, it reflects on my family, it reflects on my cousins. So each and every step I did was secured by my families, by my family members, my elders. So I went to the school, played with my cousins, had a very, very gala time with the joint family. I enjoyed it. I still consider that as a golden period of my life. And I graduated. I did my bachelor's in chemistry and then post-graduation in computer application. But till then, my family, the whole family, were looking out for a boy, for me to get married. As far as my family was concerned, for a girl to settle down is get married to a good guy. There was nothing like career development. There was nothing like independent. There is nothing like personal like or dislike. You're in a group, you're in a family, you're in a joint family, you have to listen to what the elders say. But then I felt nothing wrong in that because I grew up like that. Finally, they got me a good guy, best of the lot, both, I think, smarter both inside and out, got married. But here it started. It was very, very short-lived because when my son was just 3 years old, my husband was diagnosed with a very rare type, very rare type of cancer. From there, for 7 years, we lived in the hospital with lot of treatments going on, and chemotherapies, radiation, and so many things. But lot of hope in my mind that we can come out of this. That was the only thing that was running in my mind. But to the shock, he left us. I was just 34 years old that time, holding my son's hand, who was just 10 years old. You have to believe, in that 12 years of marriage, my father-in-law was so good to me. He instigated me to learn Veena. But at that time, I didn't take anything seriously. Okay, I'm just sitting simply at home. We have people working for everything. So why don't we learn Veena? That just like that, I started it, but never imagined that it would be a part of my life later. In the 12 years of marriage life, I lost my mother-in-law, I lost my father-in-law, I lost my husband finally. And it took me a few months to come out of this, what has happened to me, to accept it, what has happened to me. Suddenly, the other side of me started when I got a call from the office, from my husband's office, telling, auditor is asking for a TB, ma'am. So we have to get ready with the TB. What? TB? What the auditor is doing with tuberculosis? I was asking my staff. They said, no, ma'am, you come to the office, then only you'll realize what is happening there. So I went to the office and came to know that TB is trial balance. It's not tuberculosis. I was a pure science student who quit maths after 10th grade. I am allergic to numbers even now. I am not comfortable with 4-digit series of addition also. So I thought, oh my God, what I am going to do with this? I really don't know what's happening in the office, because before marriage I was secured by my parents. After marriage I was so secured by my husband. I was totally shattered, and I was not comfortable at all with the office and the numbers. Then the staff came and he educated me with what is debit account, what is credit account, how to file IT returns. And also you have to believe, I was a graduate before that in chemistry and also in computer application. First time at the age of 34, I learned to fill a pay check and the bank check. Before that, I was not aware of it all. From that time, I started learning what is happening in the office. But another side started popping up, because my brother-in-law and sister-in-law thought I will be grabbing everything from the office. So they started creating a lot of legal battles. Issues started popping up in my family. So I thought I should be very careful with what I possess, because they were very much concerned about what I possess than me and my son. So I want to distract myself. I used a lot of charities, like small charities, like providing lunch for the special children. At that time, when I was providing lunch at a home for the special children, I saw a notice board telling, start your career as a psychologist by pursuing MSc Applied Psychology. Then I thought, okay, why don't I try this? When I started my course in MSc Applied Psychology, simultaneously I got the legal notice from my sister-in-law and brother-in-law that regarding so many properties and so many property issues. But I put aside, I appointed a lawyer for it and started pursuing my MSc Applied Psychology. I finished successfully and got acquired in the same institute as psychologist. I worked there for 6 months, but it was so heavy for me to take it, because already so many things running in my head. I thought it wasn't my cup of tea. The one which instigated my father-in-law, Veena. I went to a guru called Mrs. Anandi Purnachandran, who chiseled me what I am today. She gave me all the courage to face the world along with the music. I started taking classes daily, continuously. We started a band called Saptaswara. We have a channel called Alchemy of Music for that. We have 5 Veena artists and 1 percussionist performing for Saptaswara. Started taking up programs in and around Madurai. So wherever we go and play Veena, they started asking us what course I have done in music, what course we have done in music. So my guru said, why don't we join some course in music such that we also be grouped together and bonded together, and at the same time we'll be having a degree in our hand. So we started a course BA Music. It's next to the institute, next to a district court in Madurai. The irony is, as soon as I finished BA, I joined MA also. But that 5 years, I used to attend the cross in the district court. At the same time, I would be answering the questions asked by my opponent lawyer in the district court. I'll be just 1 kilometer distance to the district court to the institute where I was pursuing BA and MA music. So I'll be running at walking distance. I'll be walking to there and answering for the Viva questions by the external examiner. That the balance that God gave me to handle both the legal dispute and the masters in music, that was the great impasse I had. That the tool to cross the impasse was my BA and MA degree. And you have to believe that once again, I was the best student recognized when I finished my BA in that institute. And after that, when I finished MA, my son finished his 12th standard. So he's joined his engineering course at VIG. And at that time, my legal dispute was at a very, very crucial stage, that I want to know what is happening actually at the status of the case, because I wasn't free with my lawyer that what is happening, because suddenly when I was in the middle of something, he will call me, come immediately to the court, you have to appear now. So these things happen. So I thought I should be familiar with the legal terms. I should be also familiar with what to react faster and for what I can take time. So I took up the course law. I joined LLB. So I was shuttling between my son's college and my college. Everything what I did was all the BA, MA, and LLB was a regular course. I didn't do anything correspondence. I joined LLB, but every time when I had my exams here, I had some dispute at the court. I have to go and answer them. I was not answering for one case. I was like having 50 plus cases on me, all civil cases, just harass me because my husband is no more and I have a small boy in my hand. That was the thing, because most of the materialistic things are bothered here than the human values. So I thought, so let me face it as an advocate now. So I started taking up the law, finished my 3 years course at a stretch, got registered in Bar Council of India and Pondicherry, and now even this Jan 24th, I went and wrote the All India Bar Examination too, and so that I can be a single standing council also. But all through whatever I did so long, in the middle, whenever I feel so frustrated or depressed, or I feel it's a deadlock standing before me, so it is very difficult to move across. Whenever I feel that, I take a break and go into my Veena, go into my music, and just relax. That's why again and again I tell you guys, just take up a parallel field where you can just relax and distract yourself, because all work, no play definitely will make you so, whatever, whether it is your passion or profession, at one point you will really get depressed. So take something, a parallel field, so that you will make yourself recognized. I always carry a stigma along with me. I'll always be referred as wife of late Mrs. Bansidhar. I am proud to be called as Mrs. Bansidhar. That's not at all a problem. But when they call as wife of late Mrs. Bansidhar, at that time I realized I should take identity, my own identity. Like Srilakshmi Bansidhar, what you said when you were giving my bio, you said Veena artist and lawyer. But there was a lot of struggle for that single sentence to be added along with my name. lot and various types of impasse I have to cross it. It's not at over. Still, there are so many things I'm crossing day to day. But one thing I have to tell you, as long as we are alive, as long as we are healthy, that's an ultimate gift a person can get from God. It's a natural gift. Just keep it intact, such that whatever the impasse standing before you, you can make it crushed and move forward. That's what I am doing. It's my own experience I'm sharing, and we have lot of inputs we have put in alchemy of music regarding psychologies, regarding law, everything connected with music and psychology, music and law. I've done some researches in that, and I've uploaded in our channel. The channel name is Alchemy of Music. We are in a group, and we do lot. This COVID itself, where now we are in a virtual meet. This COVID itself is a note for survival of the fittest. That TED talk we are doing virtually. This is the type of impasse we are crossing it and moving forward. This is also a type of thing we have passed the impasse. That's what. Anything, whatever happens, just accept it, what it has done to us, and move forward. That's what I'm doing it. So same advice I give it to you. Please don't take it as an advice, because you people don't like to take advice from anybody. Even I don't like. So pass the impasse. For me, it's music. Choose something equally for you also. It's your choice, your life. Thank you so much for giving that opportunity. Anything you want me to ask, please feel free to ask. And I have to end with, I have one Bharatiya 2-minute slot in Veena. If you're okay, I can play that for 1 minute.
Yes, ma'am. You can.
Yeah?
Yeah. We are interested to listen to your music.
Thank you.
Yeah, really, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Music is connected to everything. Is the phrase is very correct, ma'am. So next, let's welcome Mr. Vijayanandh, who is 26-year experienced motivational speaker, and let's welcome you to motivate us. Welcome, sir. Sir, you are unmuted. You need to unmute.
Sorry, I was talking to myself. Is my audio video clear? Is my audio video clear?
Yes, sir. You are loud and clear, sir.
All right, thank you. Dream is not the one that comes when we sleep, but is the one that doesn't allow us to sleep, quotes the great Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. TED Club President, Dr. Prakash, Club Chair, Navina, the Vice Chair, office bearers, and dear students, warm good evening to all of you. It's my pride and pleasure to speak in front of students and faculties of MIT for various reasons. The first and foremost is that this institute has produced some great personalities like Dr. APJ, Dr. Shivan, and the great author Sujata. The second reason could be, so whenever I speak in front of students, I feel like I'm still in my studenthood, and there are various other reasons. Get past the impasse, that is the topic, and it is very topical at this juncture throughout the world for all of us. I have sectioned this speech into two. One is I'm going to share my own experience, one of my experiences, and a couple of tips for you guys to apply in your life and career. After completing my engineering in Government College of Engineering, Tirunelveli in the year 1995, I started my career in fabrication industry, where we used to fabricate pressure equipment like process pressure vessels, heat exchangers, etc. I got fascinated. I'm a mechanical engineer. I got fascinated in welding inspection, quality control, and non-destructive testing. And I wanted to follow through in that area. I wanted to be an expert in that area. Therefore, I was trying to develop my knowledge, both theoretical as well as practical. Knowledge is power. After learning for nearly 3 years, I wanted to move out of the fabrication shop, but in the same area of expertise. I wanted to go to construction sites to see piping construction, storage tank construction, and pipelines, but in the same area of expertise, quality control, welding inspection, and non-destructive testing. So we were all, the whole QC world, we were all interested in going to Jamnagar Reliance Petroleum Limited project, because that time, I'm talking about 1997, that time it was going to be the largest grassroots level refinery in the world. So we all wanted to go there. We attended interviews, and I got through the interview with some good appreciation from the gentleman who interviewed me. Day one, I went to Gujarat. I reported to the site office, and the person who interviewed me, he was the one who was going to assign me the task. So I was so happy that he knew about me. Therefore, he would put me in the right place. To the contrary, he took me to a painting yard and he said, Vijay, you have got some painting experience. Therefore, I want you to be here to fix some of the problems that we are facing here. I was quite disappointed. But at the same time, I didn't want to displease him. Then I was politely requesting him, so why not you put me in piping or storage tank sites? He was little rude that time. He said, no, Vijay, you have to follow what I am saying. You cannot tell me what I have to do. So I wanted to be patient, but at the same time, at that young age, the age of 25, 26, I felt like I'm deadlocked because 3 years I have experience, another 2 years I was going to be there. That means out of 5 years, I would have only 3 years of experience in welding, NDT, and quality control. And rest of them was going to be in painting. I felt like I got deadlocked, and that was an impasse in front of me. What did I do? Did I get past that? Be patient. All right. Now, for the rest of the session, another 15 minutes, I request all of you to switch your mind to professional mode from student mode. We are going to talk about how we can unlock the deadlock and get past the impasse. Let me pitch one question here. For all of us, whoever wants to achieve something in the world, what could be the goal, universal goal? Can you please answer in your chat box, please? One common goal we all would have. What is that? To be happy, happy life. A couple more, please, then I will start. To earn more money. Just one more answer, then I will start. Be healthy. All right, more or less all are good answers, if not the right answer. The goal is to make progress. Progression is our goal. It could be personal life or it could be in our career, be it financial, be it healthy life, happy life, hierarchically growing in an organization, contributing something to the society. We want to make progression. Now, let us consider two scenarios. One is we are part of a team and the team has to make some progress. Likewise, as individuals, we want to make our own progression. How do we make it? That's the question here. Let us also hypothetically consider that there is an impasse in front of us. How do we unlock it? The one-liner solution here is do the right things and do those things right. It's not the other way. First, we need to define the right things. We cannot do a thing which is not in the priority, but we do it perfect. That's not correct. We have to define the right things first, which is relevant, that would take us forward to unshackle the impasse. How do we do that? Let us take a deeper dive. I would say there is one equation which is smart plus smart is equal to success. I mentioned smart twice. The first SMART is an acronym coined out of the first letters of the words specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. That is how we should define our actions. We cannot define a vague action. Okay, just achieve that. That's not correct. We have to systematically define actions. The second SMART is the word SMART. If we define smart actions and assign smart people, then we are going to achieve success. That's for sure. If it is for the team, it is the team that is comprised of smart people. If it is for individual growth, it is the individual with full of smart attributes. What are they? Let us take further deeper dive. When we define actions, we are talking about the first SMART, which is the acronym. When we define actions, one of the key steps is to carry out risk assessment. We all use the word risk quite frequently, but do we do risk assessment systematically? That could be a question mark. If it is a simple mission, just going to a shopping mall and coming back, probably we don't care much about any potential risks. Whereas if we are into a significant mission, certainly we have to take care of various things. We should ensure whatever actions we are going to take would be risk-free. This is one of the steps, key steps in defining actions. Some people say that this particular individual, he takes risk. That's why he is successful. That person doesn't take any action without calculating the risk. We are all engineers, right? We should quantify things. Arithmetically, risk, first of all, what is risk? Risk is an undesirable situation or undesirable event that would hamper or hinder our progression. So we have an impasse in front of us, right? And we want to get past that. We are defining an action that would further hamper our progression, which we don't want. We don't want any undesirable situation. We want to move forward, right? One of the important techniques is to carry out risk assessment. So what is risk? Risk is, arithmetically, risk is equal to a likelihood of an undesirable event to occur multiplied by the severity of the consequence of the event that potentially could occur. And this equation is applicable to anything we do in our life. It could be in your student life, in your personal life, in your professional life. we have to do a systematic risk assessment. Like I don't know, I got muted by mistake, but I didn't think. Okay, no worries, let me repeat. So I start with the equation for risk. Risk is equal to likelihood of an undesirable event to occur multiplied by the severity of the consequence that that event would incur. Risk is equal to likelihood times consequence. All right. How deep we have to do a systematic risk assessment? That depends upon the criticality of the mission that we are into. If it is a simple mission, we do a simple qualitative risk assessment. Whereas if it is a complex mission, we have to do a quantitative risk assessment. For example, if you are in oil and gas industry, which is highly hazardous, then we have to do a detailed, systematic, quantitative risk assessment. I am in oil and gas business, so we are always doing systematic, detailed, quantitative risk assessments. Otherwise, potentially, it could end up in big incidents like fire, explosion, toxic, or fatal event. Let us, for the sake of this session, let us consider one mission, which is we want to travel from one place to another, which is 500 kilometers away from our starting point. And we have to drive on our own. Do we do a risk assessment? We have to. What are the risk elements? What are the risks that could potentially occur, which is an undesirable situation? Our mission is to reach the destination safely and on time. Anything that would disturb these two should be treated as a risk. Right? So to start with, what do? Our car should be in a good condition. We don't want any breakdown. We don't want to have any flat tire. We don't want any emptied fuel in between. We don't want to be fatigued due to a long drive. So these are the potential risks that we could encounter. So what do? We address one by one. First thing, do we have a good car that could drive us safely to the other side or to the destination? First, we need to ensure that. Okay, the car is good, it's good in condition, recently serviced and all. What about the tires? Are the tires in good condition? Yes. If not, we have to fix that. Do we have a spare tire in good condition? We have to fix that. So we put tick mark each and every risk element, against each and every risk element. What about fuel? Okay, it is full now, but that could take us only for 300 kilometers. What about the rest of the 200 kilometers? How do we do? No, there is a fuel station in between so that we can go and fill the fuel there. If it is not there, then we have to change our car. We have to go for a car with bigger capacity fuel tank, right? What about fatigue? Okay, let us take a driver with us. If one driver feels fatigued, then the other one could take care. So this is how we address the things one by one. Do we have to address these things one by one? Why not we just take the car and drive? We need to assess the severity of the consequence. If there is a flat tire on a long road in the middle of a highway, what do? That would be an impasse. That would be an undesirable situation. So we want to avoid all these things. So once we address all the risks, potential risks, then we are okay to go without any hassle. We have a peace of mind. We can enjoy the drive, right? We can move forward. So this is one of the steps in defining SMART actions. Do a proper risk assessment. And you can do it for anything, even for bunking your class, you can do a risk assessment. What would be the consequence, right? You can do that. Of course, we were doing it without any risk assessment during my studenthood. Okay. Now, we have defined SMART actions. I have mentioned only one step. There could be various other steps when we define SMART actions. The next part is assigning smart people. How do we know that we are smart? We should know that first, right? How do we know that? Either somebody has to tell us. Most of the time, we don't know whether we are smart or not. We don't know our own characters, our own attributes, our own potentials. What do we do? To be systematic, right? We should carry out an assessment, an analysis. We call it a SWOT analysis. SWOT is another acronym coined out of the first letters of the words strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. There are various attributes that fall under these 4 categories: strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. You could take the help of your professors, your friends, your parents when you carry out SWOT analysis. Strength is the one, because we are into a mission, right? We want to make progression. Strength is the one that accelerates our progression at the desired speed, right? It is not prerequisites, the basics. The basics should not be treated as strengths. Strengths could be something that is over and above the minimum requirements. Someone has got a very good communication skills. Communication is not only about language proficiency. That's a wider umbrella. Putting the right things, being transparent in the sequential manner, without attracting any insults, right? There are various other factors that come under communication. Someone has got a good salvaging character. He solves the problems. He's not good in technically solving the issue, but he's good in salvaging the whole issue by coordinating with others. Someone is very good in basics. Whenever there is an issue, he immediately goes back to the basics and comes up with some theoretical solution. Someone has got a very good memory power. It's not about the normal memory power. Very good memory power. So that also is a strength. Weakness. Weakness is the one that could slow down our progression. It doesn't work against us, but if it is corrected, we can get back to our original speed. It could be language proficiency. As I said earlier, language proficiency is only a part of communication skill. So that could be corrected by learning the languages. You could just correct it and you can get back on track to your original speed. Opportunities. These are attributes. If we fine tune this area, certainly that would further accelerate our progression. Therefore, this also should be focused. For example, a person with good technical skills making some good progress in his career, but he has also got some leadership qualities which he is not aware of it, or he doesn't focus much on that. If he focuses and fine-tunes that particular area, then his progression is going to be further accelerated. So we should know our opportunities within ourselves. The fourth one is the most important one and dangerous ones, the threats. Most of the time, we miss to identify this within ourselves because of the ego, the natural ego we have within ourselves. It could be lack of commitment, lack of integrity, lack of uprightness. That could be, if I make a list, under this particular category, the list would be much more when compared to the previous three: strength, weaknesses, and opportunities. Someone has got a very good technical skill, but if he is not transparent enough, then that would threaten his career, that threaten his progression, which we don't want. So therefore, SWOT analysis is really, really important that we all should perform. We have to introspect and carry out SWOT analysis on ourselves. Just prepare a list of your strengths, list of your weaknesses, list of the opportunities you have got. That, as said earlier, take the help of your friends. Sometimes the friends tell us, hey, you are good in this particular area, which we wouldn't have noticed at all, right? So therefore, please take the assistance from others and complete your SWOT analysis. Now, we have defined SMART actions. We have defined the SMART people or assigned SMART people, or if it is individual's career progression, we have corrected all our attributes, improved all our attributes. We have removed the threats. We have fine-tuned the opportunities. We have corrected the weaknesses. We have strengthened ourselves. Now, certainly we can move forward with confidence. We can take some calculated risks. For sure, with both of this done, then we would have all the mitigation measures to address any of the issues. Even if a particular risk is encountered, we would have the mitigation measure to tackle it. Therefore, we will be able to move forward confidently. All right. Going back to my flashback, did I get past my impasse that I encountered? I was totally disappointed. I spent about a week. It was really boring painting inspection because my passion was to learn on piping, storage tank construction, and of course pipelines. I wanted to define an action. Okay, I decided I have to go and meet my boss, my line manager, who doesn't sit in the site office. He sits somewhere else, the person who assigned the task to me. But that office where he was sitting, that was around 5 or 6 kilometers away from the site that I was assigned in. Remember, Jamnagar is like a Gulf country. I've been living in the Gulf for the past 20 years now, but those days, 40 plus, the temperature 40 plus degrees Celsius, that was too much for us. Over the past 20 years, the climate has changed a lot, and that's a different story. But 40 plus, under a hot sun, I had to walk 5 to 6 kilometers to go and meet him because the shuttle bus wouldn't come during the middle of the day. There was a 1 hour lunch time. I wanted to go and meet him and request him to transfer me to the right place where I wanted to be. So there was no shuttle bus, but I, without taking lunch, without carrying any water bottle, it was hot sun. It was almost like a desert. I had to walk 5 kilometers. I walked. It was more or less an hour or so. I went there. I was very hungry. I was very thirsty, but I went to his office. And to my surprise, he was not there. And I had to wait for him. Because those days, there was no mobile phone, right? Not like now. So I was sitting in front of his chair. He was not there, half an hour, 45 minutes. But people were waiting for me at site also. So it was really a heart beating situation for me. The manager came and he was so dejected looking at me in his office instead of being at the site office. Vijay, what are you doing here? You are supposed to be at your site. Then I slowly started talking to him. Sir, please put me in piping construction or storage tank construction where I can perform with my knowledge that I got. Then he said, no, Vijay, you have to follow what we have assigned you. Then, he was my boss, right? So I cannot be arguing with him. So I decided when I was walking, it was a calculation going to my mind. What should I do? What should be the right sentence that I should use to persuade him? I mentioned in one sentence, sir, I am not asking you to give me a lazy job. I need a tough task to use my potential. Why not you consider my request? That one sentence made him to change his mind. Immediately, he nodded his head. Okay, Vijay, I will put you in a big site. That was a huge site I was put up in. Held a lot of piping with 3 spherical LPG tanks and at least 15-20 storage tanks for them. So I was working as client-side QC inspector. And that laid a strong foundation for my career. And that was my dream, to work in that particular site. So now wherever I go and work, even in Middle East countries, I feel like it's a small site when I compare that with the Jamnagar site. So this is how I got past my IMPASSE. So what made me to walk through that IMPASSE? What made me to walk 5 kilometers under 40 plus temperature? It was my passion. It was my passion. So be passionate in what you are doing. One of the similar session when I was giving to one of the engineering colleges in Madurai, one lady student, she asked me, she was a PhD, and she was asking, sir, I was working in the industry, then I entered academic, then I completed my PhD. Now, should I go back to industry or should I be an academician? Then I said, you have to ask yourself. It should be the passion that should drive you, not the market. Because she was asking about the market. Always be passionate in what you are doing. Otherwise, we are not going to get past if we encounter impasses. It should be the passion. Now we have the right tools. We know how to define smart actions. We know how to be smart by carrying out smart analysis. Certainly, we would be able to unlock any deadlocks, right? I request all of you to pay very close attention to these particular areas. The SMART and acronym SMART and being smart. This is what the world needs now. Smart people. Days are gone where any organization was looking for hardworking people. Of course, hardworking is part of it, but not only the hardworking. There are various other attributes the industry is looking for, like leadership qualities, being smart, being able to take the right decisions. So if you are focusing these two areas, certainly you will be able to convince your employer that you are a smart contributor. To paraphrase, if you have encountered impasses, don't be stuck, don't get stuck, don't feel like you are stranded. Define smart actions, define a smart team if you are a team leader, or if you are an individual contributor, develop your attributes so that you become smart, then certainly we'll be able to move forward. Keep learning. Just to summarize, what are the action points, the key takeaways out of this session? Keep developing knowledge. Knowledge is power. Without knowledge, we cannot work as engineers, that's for sure. We cannot contribute. For which, we should never stop reading books. Dr. Kalam quotes, don't focus on success stories because they give only historical information. Read failure stories. That will give you strong messages. If you take them and apply in your project or in your mission, whatever you are engaged in, you can apply those failure lessons. You can eliminate them so that it doesn't happen in your project. Be physically and mentally fit. Yes. Always be fit. I have come across various guys, youngsters, 25, 26 years of age, complaining about their bodily health. Sir, I cannot go to site because I have this problem, that problem. Then you are not fit enough. Even if you are technically sound, you might have got various other great attributes. But if you are not fit for the job, then you are not going to be engaged. That's for sure. Develop the right attributes, leadership qualities, communication skills, coordination skills. There are various other soft skills that we need to focus on. Various engineers struggling to communicate. When I was interviewing people, I just asked them, okay, you tell about yourself. That is the best topic you can talk about yourself. And you are the best person to talk on yourself. But these gentlemen, they used to struggle. Sir, I'm a graduate mechanical engineer. I have 5 years of experience. Okay, then that's all. You have to keep talking, right? You started your career here. This is your passion. This is your hobby. this is what you are good at, this is what you are not good at, right? You can keep talking about yourselves. That is communication. With this, I draw a line. I can keep talking for 1 more hour, but we need to manage the time. It has been a pleasure, actually, this 15-20 minutes to talk in front of the students of MIT that has produced great personalities, and a wonderful opportunity for me to be here. Let us just go to the Q&A session. Just post in the chat box before I wrap up. I'm okay to any question. Don't ask about my academic performance, but otherwise you can ask me any questions. If I get 5 questions, this is what I always tell students. If I get 5 questions at least, then I would consider that all the students were engaged in this session. If not, then there could be a question mark on the engagement.
Yes, I really enjoyed your motivation speech, sir. But the form of what you said is really nice, sir.
Your audio is not clear to me.
Just a minute. Yeah, now it's clear. Sir,
Yeah, go ahead, please.
now it's clear, sir. My audio.
Yeah, please go ahead.
At the start of your speech, you said about the formula of risk, and it was really interesting, and it's new concept for all of us.
Yeah.
So, thanks for giving us such a new information and motivation about how to proceed in our life and overcome our struggle by giving a life-changing to our senior. So, sorry for this once, some internet issues.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, some internet issues, sir. And thank you, sir.
No questions, yeah? It's really...
Check my comment box.
Is that
Thank you for coming.
There's
no question for no, sir.
Yes, for the students to pose their questions. I wouldn't call it as a successful session if I don't get questions, yeah? Probably this particular topic, because you are all in the technical mood now, right? With a lot of arithmetics, a lot of theories, calculations and all, right? Probably this concept is new for you. I'll come back to your question, Ashok, right? But these areas will be very, very useful, very handy when you are into your professional career. Ashok, can you please post your question once again?
How to start experimenting different things in our life? That's what Ashok question, sir.
That's really a smart question, right? When you are into a different thing, which you have not done before, which we call it as experiment, right? Go for risk assessment. All right. I'm going to do something new. Am I going to face any undesirable situation? My ultimate aim is to succeed. The experiment should come out with a positive outcome. What are the things, what are the elements that could hamper that could hinder that? List that down. Sometimes we overdo some risk assessment, that is no problem, right? But you have to define the smart actions, right? Carry out risk assessment. Always, when you are doing something new, carry out risk assessment. Then it will be easier for you. Risk assessment, right? I repeat, risk assessment. What is the depth of the risk assessment? As I mentioned earlier, it depends upon the criticality. If you are into a big mission, for example, Chandrayaan-2, Chandrayaan-3, certainly they would have done a lot of risk assessments. In spite of that, Vikram lander gave them some hard time at the end, but certainly they have corrected it now. That's why I think Chandrayaan 3 is already announced. Dr. Shivan has announced Chandrayaan 3, I reckon, if my memory is right. So when you are into critical things, do risk assessment. Then fix all the risks, correct all the, the right, define right mitigation measures, then you will succeed. That's for sure. A couple more questions, please. That was a good question, Ashok.
Actually, sorry for Actually, we are late. Next performance by Tarun from Vibes. We are getting late. We're off now.
Okay, all right. Let me wrap up here. Thank you, all of you, for giving me this.
Thanks, sir.
To speak, to deliver a speech alongside various great personalities yesterday and today. I watched everyone's except for the first presenter who spoke yesterday. Otherwise, I watched all of the speeches. It was really a wonderful opportunity. Thank you very much. Bye. See you. I wish you all good luck, a scintillating career. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Over to you.
Yeah. Next, I welcome Tarun from Vibes to give us a performance.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello, Tarun.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I know it's late. My name's Tarun, and I'm from Vibes Club of MIT. It's the music club of MIT. I'll make it short and sweet. Okay.
நேற்று நான் உன்னை பார்த்த பார்வை வேறு, நீங்காத எண்ணமாக ஆனா இன்று. உன்னோடு நானும் போன தூரம் யாவும் நெஞ்சிலே நீங்கார நினைவுகளாக அலையை இங்கே மிஞ்சிலே. நூலறிந்த பட்டம் போல உன்னை சுற்றி நானும் ஆட, கைகள் நீட்டி நீயும் பிடிக்க காத்திருக்கிறேன். இதற்கெல்லாம் அர்த்தங்கள் என்ன கேட்க வேண்டும் உன்னை. காலம் கை கூடினால் கதைப்போமா கதைப்போமா கதைப்போமா, ஒன்றாக நீயும் நானும் தான் கதைப்போமா கதைப்போமா கதைப்போமா. நீ பேச பேச காயமாறுமே, என் கனவிலே வந்து காதலியே. கண் விழிப்பதற்குள்ளே வந்தாயே, நான் தேடி தேடி தான் அலைஞ்சிட்டேன். ஒன்னு தேவதைய கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டேன். நான் முழுசா என்ன தான் கொடுத்துட்டேன். அட ஒன்ன வாங்கிட்டேன். நீ தினம் சிரிச்சா போதுமே, வேற எதுவும் வேணாமே நான் வாழவே. நான் உன்னை ரசிச்சா போதுமே, வேற எதுவும் வேணாமே நான் வாழவே. உன்னிகளில் விழுந்த நாட்களில் நான் கரைந்தது அதுவே போதுமே, வேறு எதுவும் வேண்டாமே பெண்ணே. உன்னுயிரினில் கலந்த நாட்களில் நான் கலைந்தது அதுவே போதுமே, வேறு எதுவும் வேண்டாமே அன்பே.
Yeah, I'll be performing just one more song. Please, bye.
மேகமே ஆகாயம் மழையில் நீராடும் கூந்தலும் இசையும் ஆகாயம் மழையில் நீராடும் கூந்தலும் இசையும் இளமை தூக்கத்தில் 2 ஏக்கங்கள் பிடித்து பார்த்ததும் வர்ணங்கள் விரல்கள் கோர்த்துதான் திசைகள் மீறலாம் காற்றுக்கு எல்லை இல்லையே ஆகாயம் வரையில் நீராடும் கூந்தலும் இசையும் ஆகாயம் மழையில் நீராடும் கூந்தலும் இசையும்.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Wow, that's a really amazing performance, Basham.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank you.
you're okay. Now I welcome Srinidhi, our college state cup treasurer, to give vote of thanks because of that club of MIT.
Good evening. We have finally reached the end of this two-day extravaganza, Innovate 2021. Firstly, a heartfelt thanks to the Almighty for being with us. At this point, I would like to thank everyone who made this event possible and a huge success. Firstly, a huge thanks to our Dean, Dr. T. Tyagarajan, for giving us this opportunity. Next, I would like to thank the President of TECSI MIT, Dr. P. Prakash, for his support and guidance. This event would not have been possible without our speakers. I take this opportunity to thank the speakers, Mr. Aditya Iyer, Mr. Murali Shankaranarayanan, Ms. Bharati Bhaskar, Dr. Shivraman, Ms. Sonia Jain, Ms. Mubeen Irshad, Mr. Jangid IPS, Ms. Neelam Jain, Ms. Srilakshmi Bansidhar, Mr. Vijayanandh for taking time out to speak and to inspire us. I would also like to thank Mr. Kirtivasan from the Monk for his enthralling musical performance. Next, a warm thanks to our college music band, the Vibes, and the Quiz Club of MIT for taking time out to entertain us. A huge thanks to the entire team behind Innovate 2021 for their efforts. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the audience for attending this event online on both days and making it a huge success. Thank you.
Yeah, so guys, that's the end of our two-day Innovate show. Hope let's meet in college for 2021-22 Innovate by our TED Club. So everyone remain safe and let's move on. You can leave, guys. Thanks for attending our Innovate.